Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're doing a cold case, and the cold case that we're doing is the cold case of Claudia Lawrence. I'll get into all the information when I start applying my makeup and stuff. Yeah, this one is a bit of a mystery. It's unsolved, obviously, it's a cold case. Yeah, like all of my videos, I'm gonna give a little warning. There might be some stalking activities and stuff like that. If anything like that makes you feel uncomfortable, then maybe don't watch the video. But yeah, I'm doing this to try and get some answers for the family. I think, you know, to lose your daughter is something absolutely horrible. I can't imagine how they're feeling. So yeah, so let's do the case of Claudia Lawrence. This is the cold case of Claudia Lawrence. On the 18th of March 2009, Claudia Lawrence was on her way home from her job at the University of York campus. Later on, she rang her mum and said she would like to meet up with her for Mother's Day. This is the last time that her mother would hear from her. Claudia was meant to meet up for a drink with a friend on the Thursday evening, but she never turned up. Her friend was concerned because she still hadn't heard from Claudia the next morning. Claudia hadn't even turned up for work on the Thursday morning. Her manager called her mobile. The phone was ringing, but no one was answering. Claudia used her phone a lot, so her friend Susie Cooper was surprised and confused as to why Claudia wasn't answering. Susie was getting concerned, so she rang the local pub landlord, George Foreman, to ask if he had heard from her or even seen Claudia. Susie also called Claudia's father, Peter, on the 20th of March to tell him the situation. Peter then rang Claudia's manager, and he was told that Claudia hadn't been in on the 19th or the 20th of March. Peter was extremely concerned, as this was out of character for Claudia. So both Peter and George went to Claudia's house, as Peter had a spare key. Once they got into the house, everything looked fine. The bed was made and there were unwashed dishes in the sink. Claudia's handbag was still in the house, along with her purse, bank cards and passport. The only things noticeably missing were her phone, her hair straighteners, and her rucksack that she used to carry her chef whites in, to and from work. This indicated to them that she had left the house around 5 a.m. to get to work as normal, but she never arrived. On the 20th of March at around 2 p.m, Claudia was reported as missing to the North Yorkshire Police. The police met up with Peter at Claudia's house later that day. At the start, the North Yorkshire Police were quite slow to act on this case, as Claudia wasn't a vulnerable person and there was no obvious evidence of violence. They thought that maybe she wanted a break for a few days and will soon come home. They did, however, check her route to work and sent out a public request for information. Claudia's family were becoming increasingly insistent that she had been abducted. After 5 weeks, the North Yorkshire Police upgraded the inquiry from missing person to suspected murder. The North Yorkshire Police came up with so many possibilities of what could have happened. The first was that Claudia had left with a new lover or taken a new job, but her parents told police that she would never have done that without contacting them, so this was dismissed. The second was that she had an accident on her way to work, but the route was checked, so this was quickly dismissed. The third was that Claudia had been the victim of a random encounter with a serial killer or a crazy person. This was investigated, but it didn't have conclusive results. And the fourth was that she knew her killer. They thought this one was more likely, as most murder victims know their killer. A critical piece of evidence was that Claudia's phone was on until 12:10 p.m. on Thursday, the 19th of March. Then it was deliberately switched off. Her phone had been connected to a mast in the Haworth of York all morning on the 19th of March and until it was switched off. This shows that the phone didn't leave the local area. No CCTV footage was found of Claudia on the morning of the 19th of March. Crime Stoppers were offering a £10,000 reward to anyone given information which would lead to the arrest and conviction of anyone linked to the disappearance. The North Yorkshire Police received over 1,200 calls offering information. The Archbishop of York made an appeal for help in early June 2009. A reconstruction of Claudia's last known moments was made and featured on Crime Watch. 100 days after his daughter's disappearance, Peter Lawrence launched a YouTube appeal for information. I will link this in the description below for anyone who wants to check it out. In September 2009, Detective Superintendent Ray Galloway revealed that the search had been extended to Cyprus. He stated that Claudia knew several people who live on the island and she may have had a job opportunity. He also reported that the last text message received on Claudia's phone was from a man who was on the island. Detectives were looking for the driver of a rusty white van later on in September, as a man was seen trying to talk to women on Claudia's route to work in the days before she disappeared. Areas of Heslington in York were being searched on the 24th of March 2010 based on new information received. Galloway said a possible reason for Claudia's disappearance lay in her lifestyle, because of her complexity and mystery of relationships with men. One Sky News journalist stated, Claudia apparently lived a significant part of her life in secret. For a privately educated daughter of a country solicitor, Claudia had some unusual acquaintances. And this remains the only missing persons case where I have been warned off or threatened not once but twice. Another suggestion was that Claudia had been abducted and murdered after leaving her home on the 19th of March, and it's likely that her killer was a local man who knew her. A £300,000 new major crime unit was set up at the North Yorkshire Police Department in June 2013. This was set up to help them deal with day-to-day policing. The Major Crimes Unit were tasked to handle crimes including rape and kidnap, and also asked to review cold cases, this being one of them. They assessed the Claudia Lawrence case, and new forensic searches were carried out. Additional fingerprints were found, and a man's DNA on a cigarette end. These were found in her car. Cell activity from her phone also showed that she had spent time in the Acombe area of York in the weeks leading up to her disappearance. A new appeal was made on the 19th of March 2014 on Crime Watch. They showed some CCTV footage that had been recovered. This CCTV footage showed a silver Ford Focus hatchback car, manufactured between 1998 and 2004, driving along Henworth Road. The car's brake lights come on as it approaches level with Claudia's cottage. A 59-year-old man was arrested on the 13th of May 2014. This man had been a colleague of Claudia's at the University of York and lived close to her. They were friends and he gave Claudia lifts to and from work. Searches were made in his house and also his mother's house in North Shields. He was released on bail the next day, then released without charge in November. The landlord of the Acorn pub, Paul Harris, was also arrested on suspicion of perverting the course of justice. He was arrested in July 2014. However, he was quickly released without charge. They then went to search sand hut and gravel pits. A lake was drained and ground-penetrating radar equipment and cadaver dogs were used in the search. Nothing significant was found. In July 2019, Claudia's law was appointed. Claudia's father campaigned for the law to be modified in order to allow appointment of guardians for affairs of missing people. Peter found it very difficult to manage Claudia's assets and liabilities. They were unable to sell her old house, and they had to keep paying her mortgage and other charges. Sadly, her father Peter passed away in 2021 without any closure and never knowing what happened to his daughter. If you know anything about this case and have information of where Claudia may be or what happened to her, please call Crime Stoppers on 0800 555 111. Again, that's 0800 555 111, or, quoting Claudia Lawrence, call the North Yorkshire Police and you can remain anonymous. Or you could dial 101, select option 1 and pass the details on to the Force Control Room, quoting Claudia Lawrence. So, final thoughts on this case, guys. Honestly, I'm baffled. I really am baffled. I don't know what to think. I don't know. If it's not like her to go away, I'm not very hopeful. I'm not very hopeful that she's still alive. I think something might have happened to her. I'm not sure who it could have been, though. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if the guy from the landlord from the pub would have done it, because he went to Claudia's flat with her dad, you know, after her dad found out. So I don't know if you had done something like that. Would you go to the place that you just... I don't know. I honestly don't know what to think. It's a real tough one. Let me know your thoughts down below, because this is really, really baffling me. Yeah, hopefully with, you know, you guys chipping in, we can get some answers for what's left of the family. Thank you guys for listening today and watching, if you're watching. If not, don't worry, but thank you anyway. Yeah, and I will be back on Wednesday with a solved case. I am going to start doing British serial killers. Some of the more unknown ones, because, I mean, you know, the well-known ones, everyone knows about them, but I thought maybe bring some light to the unknown ones. But yeah, that's it from me today, guys. If you want to know what makeup I am using in this video, then it will be in the description box down below. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks so much for watching, and I shall see you next time, guys. Bye.